This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Rikky Morrisette, Albert Lorenzo, Eddie Costello, LightBlindedFool, and the Amyrlin seat. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Mike Kunal to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 23 and 24 of A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, so chapter 23 is Next Door to a Weaver, and chapter 24 is The Kin.
Ooh.
We get some answers, sort of. A little bit.
I'm hoping that this episode will provide me with answers.
Yeah, I'll pinpoint. I'll be like, hey,
my goodness,
pay attention to these things.
There's gonna have to be some things where I'm like, Brett, take the wheel.
Okay,
because once all of the new names of the new channelers who aren't Aes Sedai kept coming up, I'm gone. I'm lost. I don't know who's talking. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to need you.
Yep.
But before we get into that, we have a very, very special announcement for today.
Okay. It is
our 3-year anniversary.
Yeah, of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big news.
You know what? 11 years dating too.
Oh, okay.
For us, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my god.
That's so exciting. We're going on a trip next weekend.
Amazing.
By the time this airs, though, it'll be just our podcast anniversary.
Cool.
On May 22nd, I believe, 2019. And so here we are, 3 years later.
Yeah.
7.5 books in.
Officially halfway through the series.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And we're having a bit of a party. We are recording this as an unedited video episode for our patrons.
Yep.
So that's super fun. And we got a little bit of a Prosecco bubbly.
Yeah.
Some little ASMR for you. I don't have nails.
Oh, no. Okay. We're going to drink that. It's going to be great.
We're going to drink it. I'm going to pop it, and I'm going to try not to spill it everywhere.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried.
No, I wanted to do it live for funsies.
I know, but I also banged the bottle carrying it downstairs, so we're going to see what happens.
Okay. That was fun. I did it.
Yay.
Yay.
I was worried.
Okay. No, this really is an ASMR podcast. Okay, here we go. Are you so excited?
I am, yeah.
Could you believe 3 years ago?
I know. It is kind of crazy to think about for, a lot of reasons because of the amount of things that's happened since.
A lot of things have happened, but let's do a nice cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
To 3 years, and cheers to our listeners.
Yeah,
we couldn't do this without you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for 3 years.
Yeah, so good. Now that we got the celebratory stuff out of the way, we're having ourselves a little bit of a party.
Yep.
Over here.
Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Okay, and it's really funny because I'm pretty sure you're going to have no idea what this fun fact's about because it was based on such a small little tidbit of information we got in these chapters.
Maybe I picked that up.
Maybe.
I was trying to read so carefully. I had to go back and read a couple things before I gave up completely.
Okay.
Having it make sense.
Fair.
Fair.
And you know what? I will give you a pass because I absolutely understand the amount of names that are introduced in these chapters. It's a lot. And they're all new, and we have to figure out who each of them are and what they mean.
And why and how. And you know what? I was going to take some notes, specifically on each of them and do a whole thing. And then I just thought you can do that for me.
I'll do that, and then when it becomes important and relevant, I'll let you know when it's important. That's why I'm here.
That's the plan.
Okay, so fun fact. The fun fact today, in the spirit of such a big celebration, is about the 13 sins.
I picked this up.
Did you?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, this was like the most interesting thing.
It was like 2 sentences.
No, it was cool though.
Okay.
It's like the statue above the fireplace.
Yeah, so we got the little reference, and I wrote it out just in case you missed it. In the chapter that the Ebu Dari have something called the 13 sins, and Nynaeve gets to see that, artistic representation of them. And we got the reference to envy, gossip, and greed. So, those are 3 of the 13. We don't actually know what the rest of the other 10 are, but that's not the point. So the closest thing that I could find that's probably fairly obvious to a lot of people that would be comparable to the 13 sins.
Can I guess?
Yeah, of course.
7 deadly sins?
You're reading that. I swear
no,
you're looking.
I can't see
you're
that
peeking,
far.
But yeah, it's the 7 deadly sins.
I was checking to see if I was going to be right. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, the 7 deadly sins.
I can't see your notes, though.
Anyway, so I got a little bit of fun information here. So with the 7 deadly sins, also known as the cardinal sins, is a grouping or classification of vices within Christian teachings, although they are not mentioned in the Bible. So, according to the standard list, they are, and I was going to ask, do you want to try and guess what the 7...
I know a few of them.
Okay, let's try it.
You want me to do a guessing game?
Yeah, 7 deadly sins.
Can I have more Prosecco first?
Sure.
No, okay.
Take a moment to think.
Okay.
7 deadly sins.
Glutton.
Gluttony is 1. Yep.
Envy.
Yep. 2.
Greed.
Yep.
Nope, I'm done.
That's it. Okay, that was pretty good.
I have others.
Yeah, that's fair. So we got pride.
Okay.
Wrath.
Ooh.
Lust.
Oh, lust I know, for sure.
And sloth.
A sloth.
Yeah. So, anyway, so the interesting part is that they're opposite to the 7 heavenly virtues, which are chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, kindness, patience, and humility. So I couldn't find anything to get us to the 13 sins like in
what
the Wheel
other
of Time.
terrible things?
Don't backtalk your wife or she's going to stab you is one of them.
Ooh,
right?
Good one.
Ladies don't talk about boats would be another one. Men don't talk about inns. And we're basically at 13 with that.
Well, this isn't specifically Abu Dhari.
But that's what we got. It's like the Abu Dhari have the 13 sins.
Oh, is it specifically?
It is. It's pretty specific. From what we've seen so far.
I thought this was just like kind of like a worldwide thing.
Not really. No, not from what it seems like. But so with the 13 that are in Wheel of Time and then the 7, there is some historical Greek and Roman precedents for the sins because Aristotle did a whole bunch of stuff about ethics and virtues. And we know that because of The Good Place, obviously.
Yeah.
But the modern concept of the 7 deadly sins can be linked to an original 8 evil thoughts, which were basically just slightly more split up, I guess, than the 7 that they are now. So, there you go. That's the best I could get for you.
Yeah.
But 13 because it's spooky, maybe. And, Forsaken.
Oh,
possibly
13. Yeah, Robert Jordan sure likes that number.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we could, link something up to the Forsaken. I don't know, but it's not important for now, so.
I don't think so now.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's actually start talking about these chapters.
Sure. Before we're going to do that, though, we're going to talk about what we talked about last time we were here. Because Brigida hung out with Matt to ask him to help with the dumb Cloud Bowl search.
Yes.
And they got drunk together, which was very fun.
Awesome duo.
Yeah, he said yes, but he wants an apology for the whole Stone of Tear thing.
Yeah.
The women reluctantly agree, go to give and apologize to a very hungover Matt.
Yeah.
Then get accosted by a righteous and overzealous innkeeper.
That's a good description of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that is good. That's exactly what happened.
Yes. I was like, what other terrible names can I call this woman?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good... And we got to talk about her in these chapters because of the reception that she's given by these people.
She's...
kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I thought you were going to say the reception she's also given by the other innkeepers. Like, she's well known in this place.
She's chatty Cathy. She talks.
She certainly
talks.
is. Gossiping.
Yeah. Well, hey, one of the 13 sins is gossip, and oh my.
Okay. Well, so chapter 23 is next door to a weaver, and the chapter symbol is the wheel and snake.
Yeah.
Here we go. Proceeding with pattern.
I guess so.
Stuff. We entered in a Nynaeve perspective. Nynaeve and Elaine are immediately getting bustled off by Mistress Anand. This is like the next second. We're continuing where we left off.
Immediately leaving, so.
Yeah, and Nynaeve does want to fill Elaine in on her plan and what she's thinking, but she doesn't really have a chance to do that right away because they're getting marched out the back of the inn. They have to have a weird, uncomfortable interaction with the really terribly fat, round chef.
Sure, okay, yeah.
The description of this woman is beyond.
I must have, blanked over that, too.
Oh, okay. These are the things I'm going to pick up on.
Yeah, that's,
it was like a full paragraph on how fat this woman is.
Okay, and it's from Nynaeve's perspective, and she's just,
not having
it. She's in a bad mood already.
I don't think Nynaeve's in that bad of a mood. I think that Nynaeve really feels like this is the right thing to do.
Okay.
And everything that she's doing and thinking is correct. And I think that she's like, this is it. This is the answer.
She does have the plan.
I don't want to have Matt help us. This is the answer.
Anything I can do to not have that.
Anything but that. I'd rather eat dirt. I think Sid says that somewhere in the chapters too.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
Anyway, so they get marched out the back of the inn, and Mistress Anan does a whole lot of talking in this chapter.
Yeah, to a lot of people. And it starts at the inn with the chef and like the waiting girls, the serving girls, already spreading all the rumors like of who these two girls are.
Right, which Kara might be getting in some trouble.
Okay. Yeah.
Why are you saying it like that? She specifically says use the spoon if you have to.
Yeah.
She's getting in trouble. She shouldn't be spreading rumors about this. Not at the Wandering Woman. Not at my inn.
Yeah, right. Because it's the dandling or something on the knee. Yeah.
No, not that. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed it then. I like it doesn't. I didn't even like.
It doesn't matter at all.
I was more focused on how Mr. Sinan was like talking about the other Aes Sedai. Because she says like, hey, if you get lost on this trip, I'm going to make sure that Marillilla, and Teslin know your names. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing is she says them without the typical, like, Sedai.
Yes, she does. Okay. And also, she says it in such a way that she clearly has no clue, no idea about any dynamics that are happening right now. Like, Teslin and Marillilla are not on the same sides.
Yeah.
So, like...
Or maybe she does, because it's like, hey, I'll tell both sides
No, she doesn't know.
No, okay.
No.
Just want to see what you're picking up there, so...
Oh, no. She doesn't know.
So she doesn't know more than she thinks she does?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Righteous and overzealous.
Yeah. She doesn't know that they know that she doesn't know.
Right.
Okay.
Now, Nynaeve is sort of like playing along as best she can, and I'm actually a little bit impressed with Nynaeve here, showing that she can, if she has a purpose, play up some, like, meekness, go along with someone she thinks is a moron idiot. She didn't, like, thump her on her head and be like, take us to these women!
Reminds me of Swan, right? The practice of diffidence.
Yeah,
when
a
she's
little
like,
bit.
She has a plan, she kind of gets into it.
Yeah, that's what I think that Nynaeve would have done in the past, is just like, I want to see these women, they can help me, and then, like, punches her in the face or something.
Yeah, like steamroller, Yeah,
and then that wouldn't have gone well, and it wouldn't have gone anywhere. But this was like... You know, this is Nynaeve.
Yep.
2 steps forward.
Okay. Right, we did talk about this where she takes 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And this
18 steps back, usually.
That's fair. And she is in the process right now, currently, of the 2 steps forward.
Yes.
She's doing an okay job.
She's doing okay.
Yeah.
Elaine is not doing as good of a job because she thinks this whole mission is garbage.
Yeah. Which,
it is.
Debatably.
Well... It's something interesting that's happening, I guess.
We can talk about after it's done.
These women are... Like, I just found them to be so lucky.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In this instance. Like, they are so lucky.
Yeah, I do. So let's talk about Elaine's point of view here.
Sure.
Yeah. Because the way she thinks about it is she's like, hey... Let me get this straight, Nynaeve, because they're not actually being led by the ear, but I imagine her like dragging Nynaeve and Elaine by the ears.
At one point, she specifically said she drags them by the ears.
Okay, so it does happen. Mm-hmm. Okay,
not now, but in last chapter.
Right. Okay, so that does, And she says, "Let me get this straight. We could be back at the palace sipping blueberry tea and like chilling out, waiting for Matt to move in, and maybe we get news from Avienda Brigida. But basically, we're kicking up her feet."
We're having lovely morning.
Yeah, and instead we're doing this. We're doing this.
Which is not very safe.
No.
Elaine's like, we have no idea where we're going. We have no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
Like, sure, Mistress Anan can't channel.
No, and here's the thing. Elaine thinks this is stupid and a waste of their time, and at no point do either of them even remotely think this could be trouble.
It could be a trap.
It could be a trap.
Yeah.
It could be bad news. We could get kidnapped.
These two are not known for walking directly into traps.
No, and they walk and walk and walk and walk down alleys, down streets, turn corners,
everywhere.
Whatever. And I was like, oh my god, like what's happening? Where are they going?
Yeah.
Like the further away they get, I was getting increasingly more nervous.
With Mistress Anan stopping at literally every inn
to talk about how these like flighty girls spent all their money on dresses to impress a man.
Yeah, getting their faces to be known and recognized, like that's also bad for Nynaeve and Elaine in general.
Yeah.
Because anybody looking for you, like any Forsaken.
I had some time to digest this a little bit and to process what's happening here, because when I initially read it, I was so pumped for Nynaeve to have come up with like some kind of plan and was carrying it out like logically rather than like wildly emotionally.
Okay.
Right? And so I was really proud of that. And I was like, yes, maybe this will help her find the bull. And I really wanted that win for Nynaeve. But then the more I thought about like what's actually happening here,
got worse.
I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea. And like maybe they should have stormed in right away being like, we're effing Aes Sedai. Because like that's the moral of the story here.
Yeah.
That I'm going to talk about at the end.
Okay.
I have a moral to this story.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. And you skipped over completely that Nynaeve really wants gray hair.
Oh, yeah.
Because she wants to start being taken seriously. And she doesn't think that she's ever taken seriously because she doesn't look old enough.
Yes.
And
you need gray hair.
This is another like Nynaeveism that I feel personally affected by. Because I graduated with my undergraduate degree in education very young, at like 23.
Okay.
And I had a job at 24 teaching. And I just felt always like I was fighting for people to take me seriously as a teacher. I always had teachers being like, oh, how old are you? And when I would like, especially when I was like substitute teaching in like a high school or something, oh my gosh, like all bets were off. I switched to elementary and I got a job in a junior high, and I didn't go back to a high school because I was sick of it. I was done.
Yeah, that's
having to like show my, employee tag. But personally, I remember when I turned 30, I was so excited. I was really happy to turn 30 because I finally felt like that was an age that was like an acceptable age for like a professional teacher to be.
Okay.
And I felt like maybe people would stop asking me how old I was. And yeah.
Eventually.
And I mean, like, no. Do I want to, like, look super old always? No. But do I want to be taken seriously as a professional?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I totally 100% feel for Nynaeve in this instance. And this is just another thing that we have. But this one I don't, I'm not upset about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair.
Okay. So we're at the point where Elaine is going on a rant about how wonderful a morning they could be having instead.
And they're not. Yeah.
And they're not. And she says that she's going to kick Nynaeve, like, across some square or something.
Hard that she's going to bounce twice.
Yeah, she didn't say that.
She didn't say that.
No. But that's what's implied. Basically, she's going to kick Nynaeve for being stupid. And Nynaeve thinks to herself, my goodness, kick me? Elaine is really becoming violent, spending so much time with Avienda. Someone really ought to slap some sense into that pair. Like, that's the quote.
No, it's so good.
So that's like a half a step back.
Yeah, right.
We're backtracking a little bit
Coming
because
from
of the
the
hypocritical nature of the one sentence that she thinks to herself.
Like, of all people, she's the one who kicks people. So.
No, I know. And she's like, oh my goodness, she's so violent. I better slap her.
Yeah.
Like, what? Anyway, okay.
Good.
So moving on, Nynaeve starts to explain that if there really are 50 women who can channel, they can help them find the Cloud Bowl because this is probably an organized, like, guild.
Yes, it doesn't sound just like a bunch of friends. It sounds like an organized society of some sort, especially since Ebudari love their, like, illustrious guilds.
They do love their illustrious guilds.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, no, and Elaine 100% does not agree.
No.
And she's like, hey, if two women tried to make a society, the tower would crack down on that
and
so hard.
And crush him immediately. And so I'm going to rename these two chapters or maybe just the one chapter.
Okay.
Just this one chapter.
Sure.
I'm going to rename it, People Don't Really Know Very Much About Aes Sedai.
Well, here's the thing.
And they think they do.
I was going to say that. It's like Elaine is operating under the assumption that the Aes Sedai are very well informed, and they're not. Like,
no.
we know that they're not.
We have, like, Van Deen or Adelius, like, searching for runaways.
And, like, maybe they're searching, or maybe that was just
they
like
don't care.
That's why we're coming.
They're so arrogant that any woman who didn't pass their accepted or Aes Sedai test, or any woman who's not strong enough, and they left, they could give a shit about them anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
literally.
They said that they were looking for runaways, maybe. It was like such a small hint when it was like, why are they going with us? And they're kind of like a half-assed explanation of like, oh, because, runaways or whatever.
Right.
But like, probably, they're probably not even looking. Yeah.
Maybe, but like, no.
Yeah, no. So definitely hard no.
No. Okay, so now Nynaeve doesn't let up. She points out that if there are 50 of them in the same city as a storeroom packed with a bunch of terangrial and stuff, that there's a solid chance they know about it, and they don't have to deal with Matt at all. And that's when it's like, oh, okay, I get why Nynaeve is so gung-ho. But, like, she is so into this plan that she is willing to, like, go along and pretend that she's less than she is.
Sure.
Which is, like, very difficult for Nynaeve.
Yeah.
All to avoid dealing with Matt.
Yes.
That's her motive here.
It's a good motive. It works.
I don't know. It didn't work.
No, it doesn't. No. Well, maybe. She's still pretty confident that they know.
Well, even, like, their plan, like, going in, I was like, how long are you gonna hang out? Like, are you going undercover now?
Yeah.
Or now you're undercover here? Because the way that they bust in... We'll get there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, at the end of this, we need to talk again, because we need to figure out what the new game plan is, because Nynaeve has not dropped this yet.
No, not really.
Even after getting kicked out.
She just, like, can't admit that she's wrong, too, right?
And that's not a good thing. So,
no, and I was like, oh, what? Are they going to go take a turn on the farm? Like, how far is this going to go?
Yeah, months.
Okay, but
months.
Okay, I'm so jumped ahead.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm really excited, actually. I kind of like these.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out.
It's good.
I didn't know I liked these
There's
so much.
good it's a new organization that's
it's
not
fun.
It's not an organization.
Fun.
Nope, not a society. They're just a bunch of friends.
We're just hanging
Couple
out.
friends hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my soccer team says when we're practicing on public school fields.
There you go.
When we're not allowed to have organized sports on those fields.
Just like a random,
the city says.
Look what happened by
and
accident.
we're like, look, but groups of friends can gather on public school fields.
Perfect.
To play some soccer.
Yes.
So that's
we just
kind of
all
funny.
happen to wear the matching shirts. That
No, not for practice. No way.
It is. It's good. It's good.
We would never.
Right.
Okay, so Elaine comments about Mistress Anan and says, most people don't even actually know what an Aes Sedai face looks like. I think that she went to the tower because she knows so many things.
Yes. Yeah, which is fair. She does know. She's got, like, the words.
Yeah, like the Mistress of Novices, she said.
Yep.
That's the only one I remember. But she said other things.
Yeah, I'll kind of point out a couple of things, so we'll talk about it.
Okay, so they keep heading through the city. This is where Mistress Anan is talking to everybody about the two flighty girls.
Right, we're not even there yet. Oh, man, we jumped ahead. Okay.
Very much so.
Okay, we'll get there.
No, we're, like, doing the opposite of what we normally do.
Yeah.
We just, like, started talking.
Yeah.
Instead of following the...
Follow the points. Follow the plot points. Follow the chapter.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Nynaeve and Elaine are getting increasingly annoyed at this whole thing. They're never going to be able to show their faces around, and I guess that's kind of the point.
Yep.
But
that
they
is
go
the point, yeah.
on and on and on through the city, and this is the point I start getting concerned.
Okay, and
I thought she was going to hustle them, like, into a, like, wagon or something.
So here's the
thing.
thing.
And they're going to get, like, taken away.
Here's the thing. I warned you last episode about some things you should be on the lookout for.
Oh, beggars.
God,
I remember. I remember things.
Did you pick up on the beggar? No.
This one here?
Yeah.
I picked up on a beggar next chapter.
Okay, no, there's one here. So there is specifically one beggar with a horrible purple scar that obliterated one eye.
Oh, yeah, I picked up on that.
Yeah, but it's fake. It's a fake obliterated eye. It's not a real one-eyed beggar. Oh. Because Nynaeve totally... Yeah, because she's like, she recognizes the flower paste dyed with blue wart when she saw it. So he's got like a fake mock eye. But we're kind of like on the lookout for this like one-eyed beggar, Old Cully, right? So, but not Old Cully because this guy is faking it.
Okay.
You gotta be on the lookout for beggars.
Because I for sure know that, like, in my brain, the guy with the one eye is in the next chapter when they get attacked.
Okay, well, let's come back to it because this guy, we'll see.
That guy doesn't have one eye.
Not a real one eye. It's a fake missing eye.
That's weird. Okay.
Well, it's how you get more money, I guess, as a beggar if you have an injury, right? That's how it works, maybe? I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know what's happening.
That's okay. Let's just keep moving. Let's keep moving.
Forward?
Let's go.
Okay. Anyway, so the bottom line is Nynaeve is convinced these women will lead them to the bowl. She is like, overconfident. She is like both feet in. She is jumping in the deep end at this point. Any analogy I can think of, that's what Nynaeve is doing. And Nynaeve is getting angrier and angrier. She hates this.
Yes.
And
which is fair.
To be fair, she hates this because she's just like kind of annoyed by the situation, not because she feels like they're in any kind of danger, which is bad.
Yeah.
Now,
I know. I want them to be more concerned about their own safety.
Yeah, they're not.
And the funny thing is with these chapters, things go not dangerously until it does.
Well, and there's like almost like a fake danger point.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there.
Okay.
Now, they eventually make it to the house, and Mistress Anand warns them not to embarrass her and not to speak unless spoken to.
Yep.
So they go into the house, and
which is next door to the Weaver.
They got it.
The Weaver besides chapter title. So
they go into the house. They can feel a woman channeling, and this is where Nynaeve notices the like fancy dancy mantle piece thing.
Yep, that's true.
And she thinks, ooh, this is definitely someone who has money. But the outside looks like crap, like they don't want to be noticed.
Yeah, and we know that they don't want to be noticed.
She's just finding, like, more things for herself to, like, make herself feel good about this
situation. Yeah, she's like, I'm right. And it seems like she's right. Like, I don't know if we want to say that.
I think that she's right. 100% she's right.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. This is an entire organized society.
Yes.
Nynaeve is completely right about this specific thing, and I will put that on the table and say it.
Cool.
She is 100% right.
So here's...
And I was right about the wise woman thing, by the way.
Yeah,
we'll get to.
Okay. I also want to point out that Nynaeve notices that the maid recognizes Mr. Sannon.
Yep.
And her reaction is odd, as if she's surprised to see her, and also questioning why she's even here in the first place.
Uh-huh.
It's all like a little bit weird. The relationship that these women, who clearly know Satal and Anne, but it's like, why is she... It's a weird dynamic.
Like, what are you doing?
Weird dynamic.
Okay, so now... Nynaeve and Elaine can also feel that there are some women channeling in this house. And Elaine's like, that doesn't mean what you think it means. And Nynaeve is like, yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they're told to sit here and wait.
Yeah, so they're basically just going to observe everything that's going on for a little while here.
Now, they can hear voices up the hall while they wait. And a woman is talking to Mistress Anand.
Yes, so we know that is Rihanna.
It's like Liana, but with an R.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Now, she says, I can't believe you brought them here. You know how careful we are. And then Mistress Anand apologizes pretty sincerely.
Yep.
And then the other woman apologizes for raising her voice. And let me tell you something.
Oh, man. Okay.
There have been a lot of cultures represented quite heavily in this book series. And I've never felt like mine has been represented
until now
so thoroughly.
Yes. This
is so Canadian.
The Canadians are...
Sorry.
The kin. We can say it officially.
Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
This is Abu Dhabi. Isn't it? Isn't this an Abu Dhabi custom thing to go back and forth about the story thing? Because that's what Nynaeve thinks, is that like an Abu Dhabi who's being like very polite could apologize for an hour.
Because the stabbing stuff. So it's like even worse.
Sorry.
But it's just, it seems so much more so here. Because also... Nynaeve gets very confused about when Rihanna and Mr. Sanan come in. It's like, why is the older person being polite to the younger person?
But they're being polite to each other.
She doesn't understand.
It's a whole back and forth.
It's all like very,
it's like
very unusual.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
Like, I literally apologize to somebody who's holding the door for me because I'm too far away and I gotta kind of hustle to the door.
And now you're making me run.
And I was like, oh, sorry. And they're like...
Sorry, I didn't get here faster. I know you've been waiting.
And they're like, no problem. And then there's like a whole thing when like, especially when there's two doors.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Specifically. Did you pick up on that? Were you going to say something like that?
No, I wasn't, but I love it.
Do you love it?
Once you said it, I knew where you were going.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Fully represented. I love it. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
Anyways, also the important part, Rihanna has very gray hair.
Yeah.
Lots
she
of
does.
it.
Lots of it. Mm-hmm.
That comes relevant later.
Yes, it does.
It's important. It's maybe important.
Well, you know what? It is important, and I'll point out why.
Okay. Fair.
Now, for me, this is exactly the pinpointed spot where the confusion starts.
Okay.
And so maybe you can take over explaining sort of how this scene is laid out.
Oh, okay.
Because I've tried several times, and I can't really figure it out.
Okay, so are we talking about when Nynaeve's thinking about how strong Rihanna is?
Yeah, sort of. Just like all of it.
Okay, yeah, I'll just
The
like,
whole
okay.
thing.
Okay, so first off, it's important to understand that Rihanna, who is clearly very important here, she can channel, and she's also decently strong, so she is comparable to, like, a Sheriam. Right?
Which, like, literally means nothing to me.
The important part is Nynaeve thinks that she must be a Wilder. She must not have been kicked out of the tower because the tower would never let someone go away if they were actually that legitimately strong.
Yes, they would.
They would keep them as a novice forever or as an accepted for like a long time.
Okay, so then they'd be a runaway.
So, no. So she thinks she can't be she has to be a Wilder because there's no way the tower would let her go.
Oh, but I think that's actually wrong thinking.
It's Nynaeve's thought process.
Yes.
Nynaeve
maybe that's why I'm so confused.
We also have an unreliable
narrator.
Yeah,
yes,
so
we do.
like Nynaeve
because it's also like if they fail their accepted test, what is it, 3 times?
Yeah, it's like you're gonna get the boot.
Then they're gonna, no matter how strong you are.
So, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually get Rihanna's backstory too.
We also know that the White Tower, the way that they do things, isn't great.
Yeah, so that's kind of half the issue with this chapter, is this is from a perspective of Nynaeve, who is the least knowledgeable about tower politics. Like,
she was never even a novice.
No, she doesn't.
She didn't even learn novice things.
She doesn't know. So
she like literally walked into the tower and the next day took her accepted test.
Yeah, I know. It's so okay. So, anyways, Rihanna and Mr. Sinan come in to see Nynaeve and Elaine sitting and waiting, and immediately they go into like, oh, we're looking for the Bowl of the Winds. Bad start. They get cut off. And then, after the two women kind of like come in...
Well, no, they don't right away start to say the Bowl of the Winds things. Like, right away, Nynaeve tries to introduce herself, and then she, like, gets cut off before she could even say...
We're looking for...
She says, like, we need help, or something, and then they're just cut off.
Yes. So, okay, so we've got those two women.
That part I did know. Okay.
And then we've got two women who then barge into the room, and one of them says, look who's returned after all these years. It's Garenia. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and then they realize that there's other people here, so they stop talking because Nynaeve and Elaine are sitting here in the corner, and it's like, who's that?
They're like, oh.
It's like, so, and then they start to apologize to Rihanna, saying, I'm sorry, Eld... ... And
that cuts off. And later we learned that that's Eldest.
Yeah. Eldest, because Rihanna is the eldest, so that's like a title.
Yep.
And then Nynaeve figures out, like, hey, these people can all channel, and I still feel channeling in the building. So she gives eyes to Elaine, being like, look, I'm right.
I did note that this Garenia is even stronger than the First Lady.
Yes. So it's like, okay, so we don't just have, like, a couple of piddly-diddly channelers. Mm-hmm. We've got actually, like, strong women who can channel, plus there's more than 2. There's probably at least, like, 4, 6, 8, maybe... even more.
Yeah.
So that's why Nynaeve's like, hey, Elaine, I'm right, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And Elaine's like, doesn't really count.
And I don't know why anybody sitting here isn't like, we need to get the F out of here because, like, we're fucked.
Yes. Okay.
Like, if they don't want us to be here, we're held here.
Yeah.
We're held here against our will and we're never leaving. We're captured with the power. These women can channel.
Absolutely. So
it's not like you can channel your way out of this.
No. Yeah, absolutely not. So that's the thing. So the one, Garenia, comes in with Barrowan. Barrowan is the one who's really good at making shields.
Yeah, that one. That's a cool talent.
Yeah, and we can talk about that too.
That's a cool one.
So they both come in, and they're the ones who like cut off because Rihanna's like, we got guests here. Don't say anything else.
Okay, but there's a weird interaction that happens.
Yes.
What's the weird...
this is the thing. So then we have the weird interaction between Mr. Sinan, so Satal Anan, comments that Garenia looks like someone she met once, and apparently it was her like
Zarya.
Named Zarya, yeah. And it's like, oh, that was actually my grandmother's sister. And
but like, is it though?
That's what I was gonna say. So the only reason this is super suspicious is because we know after these 2 chapters that Elaine is super hyper focused on age.
Yes, she is. Yeah,
hyper focused. So it's in my mind, it's like, okay, so if we're hyper-focused on age, and it's like, you look like someone I knew a long time ago, it's like, okay, are you actually that same person, or are you pretending to be...
Because she's like, oh, that's your name?
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Is your grandmother's cousin or whatever actually you, just because you're like an immortal or whatever?
You know what? This is weird. This is like, I've never made a reference before to this book series, and some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it.
Okay.
So in Twilight, the vampires,
there you go, 100%,
who live for, I don't know, ever.
Yep.
Have to continuously move every once in a while and change their names and and then like enter in a different high school for the next whatever years and whatever, because they don't age and they don't.
And it's like, oh, that's a picture of my grandfather. I just look a lot like him. But it's like, that's actually you.
Right.
And you just look the same.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like a super weird interaction, and we're not actually supposed to know.
When was the last time I thought about Twilight?
Yeah, fair. I mean,
but no, and in the movie, I don't know if it's. I did read the books too, but they have an entire wall of graduation caps.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
good.
it was a whole thing. So,
no, but that's kind of like it is something weird like that going on.
Okay.
Because and we can talk about it more once we get to like the hyper focused Elaine on age and all that stuff.
Right.
But anyways, so then that weird interaction ends.
Okay.
And then Mistress Anand leaves because she gets like dismissed basically.
She gets dismissed.
Yes.
Like it's not just like I'm gonna go now. It's like you should never have been here.
Yeah.
I'll take them, but you go.
Yes.
Like order. It's an order.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now Grenya says that was Setalanan.
Question mark. Like,
oh my goodness, that's her? How did she... ... And then even after 70 years, the tower would ...
Yeah, so what the hell is happening?
Yes.
Can you make this a little clear for me?
Not really, because we don't know. Setalanan...
Because we know she can't channel.
Has a past. She does.
But she can't channel.
She can't channel.
Like, the girls didn't feel her ability to channel.
Sure, that's true. She certainly can't channel.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So then, like, but she's not 70. Like, she's not so
she's not, like, so wild.
old.
Like, oh my goodness. We don't know, actually, how old she is, so, like...
Well, we know she's not, like, 90.
We don't know anything about her.
Jesus. I mean,
okay.
I don't know. Well, I don't know what's happening.
All
Is
right.
it normal for me not to know what's happening?
You're not supposed to know what's happening now. This is a big mystery. It's a big mystery. It's a big mini mystery arc within these chapters. So anyways...
I wish it was something I cared a little more about.
Something is suspicious about Setalanan's past.
Okay.
Well, clearly, like, they know her. Something happened with the tower with her. She knows too much.
Like 70 years ago.
She knows Aes Sedai names. She knows people. She knows the inner workings of the tower.
I know.
She knows about slowing. She knows about Mistress and Novices. She knows about things.
Yeah, and we sort of get a little bit of a background on her.
I mean, a little bit, but not a heck of a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
anyways.
Well, this is the part, though, that Elaine whispers to Nynaeve. This is the part I did pick up on. And she says, I absolutely hate this. This is the worst thing that we've ever done. We need to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Nynaeve is like, shut it. I'm trying to listen.
Yes.
Because she's trying to listen to the conversation that's happening
She's
over
doing
there.
like the double hand earmuff to her ear. And like,
she's like working on it. And so what the women are saying over there is they might be Wilders. Then we show them the door.
Yes, so that's interesting because they clearly do not accept Wilders.
Which is interesting.
There's the smugness.
There's always the smugness. It's always there, isn't it?
It's weird.
Because this is like, honestly, a mini little tower.
And here's the thing. We get in the next chapter about the reverential feelings that they have towards Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And a little bit in this chapter, too. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get another reference to Rihanna basically saying to these two women, Grenya and Barrowin, like, hey, stay focused.
Barrowin? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Barrowin?
Barrowin. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like, hey, stay focused on what we're dealing with right now. And then she says, you should spend this turn on the farm.
Otherwise, like as punishment, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what it sounds like. And we kind of pick up on like tidbits. We get this turn on the farm as a title.
Okay, so what I picked up on with this turn thing, because it's mentioned another time when it's like you have to take your turn with the red belt.
Yes.
Because then we get into that whole thing where all of these women take their turns out in the community.
Yeah.
Right? Being wise women.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And so that's funny. But this whole like the next turn, so it's like probably like every month or something, they get a different assignment or something, right?
Or possibly, because keep in mind, we know that this is an organization, and we also know that it's an organization that wants to stay undercover.
Completely.
So that they don't get noticed by Aes Sedai, who in their minds are like all-knowing, all-powerful beings.
Oh my god, I know.
So, and we also know about...
That's why Anan does not believe these two women are Aes Sedai, and that's why these women do not believe it, even for a freaking hair of a...
They don't have the...
like a millisecond. There's never like an ounce of doubt, because they're like, I said I would never be so submissive.
Yes, like not a chance. So, I mean, and here's the thing. So they're trying to stay undercover. We know that channelers can live a long time. So, in reality, if you don't want to get picked up or like spotted or known, it would make sense that you would take a turn in different roles. And then just like the vampires... I've never read that series, but yeah, just like you need to take your turn doing. I'm in high school now, or I'm going to do the red belt.
It's different
now.
with the vampires.
Okay,
because the vampires, once they turn into a vampire, they stay the same age that they were turned at.
Oh, so they always have to be in high school. Oh my god!
So they always have to be in high school. But then they're like,
that's like even worse then.
But like, think about how smart you'd get.
You could totally pass
always
high school stuff.
Yeah,
that sounds like my nightmare. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
some of them are older though, who like pretend to be the parents.
Sure.
And stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that better? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
But just so you know.
So that taking the turn makes sense. They have some sort of system to like be in certain roles for X amount of time and then not get caught, because, you know, they would get pretty suspicious if you were just the same age forever.
Yes.
In the same role. Yeah. And someone would be like, hey, this is weird.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, and then we get the reference to the farm, which is funny because it sounds a lot like what Rand called the Black Tower originally. The farm. That was literally the name.
Oh, I legitimately thought this was a farm because I was...
Rand's Black Tower was legitimately a farm also.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
That's what I'm saying. It's like...
oh, so it's a place where you go to like learn the power and stuff? Maybe.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a direct comparison.
Here's what I thought when I read it.
Okay.
So my brain was on the White Tower, clearly, and how they're trying to be like a mini White Tower.
Okay.
Like, I think that's what's happening here.
I could see that.
They're trying a little bit because they're the ones who've clearly been like either kicked out or left because it was too hard or whatever. Yeah. And then it's like you have to give up your dreams of ever being an Aes Sedai, but this little society's like, not really.
We can make our own little...
So my brain went to like hoeing cabbages as a punishment.
Yeah.
Like on a farm. That's what the White Tower does with farms. Is like, because we still need food.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And there's probably a farm to go hoe cabbages.
There, I love that too.
That's what
and
I thought.
And we've got an Elise or
I like
Alice.
the Black Tower one better, yeah.
I think
it's Elise. It's Elise.
Yeah, so I had to make the reference with the Black Tower because it's like the farm. Come on, the farm. Anyways, so Elise knows how to keep women focused. So it sounds like she's the one who's in charge of their farm system, whatever that actually looks like.
Well, because it is mentioned that there is a penance for someone who wanted to get married.
Yeah, so that's the next point, because again, this is all snippets of conversation that Nynaeve hears, and she likes it because she's getting the fact that all these rules...
It's very organized.
The rules means there's an organized society behind it.
Yep.
So Daenerys earned a penance because she wants to marry, and then...
And Nynaeve was like, if she wants to marry, she just should be allowed to. And it's like, not if they're pretending to be the White Tower.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And we know that, like, even for the Wisdoms typically don't marry, too. But we could also think about, okay, is it rational to marry if you're going to live a long, long time and your spouse isn't?
You're going to outlive your spouse.
You're going to, like, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? So many times over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's something there, too.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. All right, so Nynaeve and Elaine have a minute to chat quietly, and Nynaeve says that one of the women is wearing a red belt.
Barrowan, the one who shields her later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's a red belt.
And that indicates that a wise woman in Ebu Dar is part of this group.
And like a channeler. She's a channeler.
And she asks Elaine, how many have we seen so far?
Yes. So the question is, are all wise women channelers?
Yeah. Yes.
And that's the question, because they're all like healers who heal with herbs and such. But it's like Ebu Dari, super knife fighting culture where we stab people in the street, and then the red belt wise women come over and save you if you can. You're not going to do that with herbs.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a system in place there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And Elaine says 7, including this woman, but nobody has anything close to this amount of strength.
Yeah.
So, do they have a way to, like, hide that? Have they discovered weaves to, like, hide their strength level, perhaps? Some type of illusion-y stuff?
I mean, maybe.
Because that's where my mind's going with the Anan.
Okay.
It's like she's
hiding
is she hiding her strength level?
But why would Mistress Anan not be part of this if she could channel?
Maybe she got kicked out. Maybe she didn't follow their dumb rules. She has a husband.
Fair. Okay.
I don't know. I didn't get that she was, like, crazy old. And it's, like, weird that they're, like, 70 years ago, something about Anan.
Well, we'll see what happens, I guess.
So that's, like, I guess what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, again, the plot thickens. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So now Nynaeve is 100% sure she's correct about all of this. And I agree. She is. She's correct about the entire thing. She deduced the whole thing. Excellent. Gold star Nynaeve, except...
She nailed it, yeah.
Except now... What's the effing plan?
That's the problem.
Because, like, you have zero plan. You did. You totally figured this all out. Yes. Now, how do we, as Nynaeve and Elaine, walk into this society of White Tower rejects and get their help? Being Aes Sedai. Like,
well, I know what they should do.
What do you think they should do? Undercover cop?
No.
Oh.
If they really want to just, like, strong-arm these women, like, go get the ones, real Aes Sedai who look like real Aes Sedai.
And barge in.
Be like, yo.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, kick the door down.
That's part of my stuff I want to talk about.
Sure.
But.
There's a lot of bad things about that, too, but, I mean.
There are some bad things about that. Because we really didn't want those Aes Sedai meddling in our Cloud Bowl business.
Yes, agreed. 100%.
That was the whole thing. We did not want them to be a part of this.
Yeah.
But now maybe it's like we couldn't find it on our own and we need help.
You might have to ask for help.
Because I just, like, couldn't wait for them to go back and come back with Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Like, I just want people who think they know things that aren't right
to be proved
proved wrong.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Like, I wouldn't even care if Elaine and Nynaeve had to, like, submit to Aes Sedai, and I hate Aes Sedai. So for that to happen, for me to want these women to be proved wrong and destroy their entire society.
Oh, you want to tear it down?
That's what would happen.
Tear it down.
No, I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't want their entire society
destroyed. Oh yeah, it would be ruined.
But that's what would happen just because I want them to be proved wrong.
It's like, for you, that's your punishment, yeah.
I just want to, like, stick it to them a little.
We got to talk about Nynaeve's name she brands. This society.
She's like, I told you, this is definitely, we found the ancient muckety-muck sisterhood of the wise women.
She picks up that the Abu Dari are all about the stupid titles, and she makes it up. It's so good. She makes it up,
and it's not even that funny.
No, it's not.
Nynaeve's not with the humor.
No, she's not, but she also, like, you know,
this is funny.
She gets a pass.
And I wish that she was
little bit quicker,
funnier.
Yeah.
Like, I wish she was a little more witty. Like, ancient muckety-muck. Like, bleh.
Yeah.
But, like, I get where she's going, and it could be funny.
Yeah.
Except that Elaine doesn't believe it and doesn't laugh.
No.
Because, like, what she's saying is funny.
Yeah.
It's a good joke.
And that's the issue. Is Elaine doesn't really, she's
Everyone's
not buying
too
into all
serious.
this. Yeah. Elaine wants to be back at the palace.
She's like, if this was true, the tower would have had an army of sisters here. They would have known about this.
Yeah.
How could this go undetected? And it's because Aes Sedai are too arrogant to give a fuck about actually what's happening all around them.
Yeah. And Nynaeve points it out. She's like, maybe they don't know. Maybe they keep low enough that the tower doesn't think that it's even worth bothering with because it's not even a thing.
They never even check up on the women they send out.
Yeah.
Even the ones who make it past accepted to Aes Sedai testing that don't pass their Aes Sedai testing, they're never going out to check up on.
Yeah.
They don't care what they're up to. They don't give a shit.
And like all the things we know about Aes Sedai not knowing things about other channeling societies, like they didn't know about the Sea Folk, they don't know about the Aiel, they don't know about any, like they don't know anything.
No.
So few.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's making the Aes Sedai look so much worse.
Yeah.
And we start out this book series thinking that they are like the protectors of the entire like universe.
Basically,
our whole world. They are the channelers. They are the big dogs on campus. They rule everything.
Turns out the White Tower
sucks.
Right? It's the White Tower.
The White Tower sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
So he just for the record, so at this point, Elaine and Nynaeve are like talking way too much when they were told to sit and be quiet.
Yeah.
And that's why we get them popping the rest of these women popping in and then shielding Elaine and Nynaeve.
This shields them, and Nynaeve feels a flow of air, like tug her braid and pull her across the room, like on her tippy toes, and like Elaine is like the same thing's happening to her, and so they get pulled by the flow of air to be in front of these people, and now they're shielded.
Yes, which is the issue.
And I thought, oh, fuck. This was the point where I was
So
like,
bad.
oh no. This is where things go terribly, terribly wrong. This is where they've just been recaptured.
Yes.
Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And especially considering, like, Nynaeve won't shut up.
And
even
then
if it's
not
Elaine
like,
does her, like, I demand you release me
even
now.
if it's not like a nefarious capture, like it's the Forsaken who've captured, it's just like a legitimate bunch of women who are going to put you on a farm for 3 months.
And honestly, we don't even know that.
We don't. But even if it is just like a non-evil group who captures you,
I'm
and
like,
it's like,
how do you even get out of this?
And that's the problem, is
You
you
can't.
can't unless they let you out.
They're all channelers.
They're so
You
so
literally
lucky.
can't get out of this if they want to put you on a farm for 3 months.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because they don't believe
Actually.
who you are.
Actually.
Oh.
This was such a wildly dangerous situation for them to, like, throw themselves into.
Right after Matt just told them, like, hey, don't go places without...
No. Realistically, looking back in hindsight, Nynaeve should have recognized what Anan was saying. They should have left, talked about it,
Yep.
and then maybe tailed some wise women.
Target a red belt. Yeah.
Something like that.
Do it.
We know this woman can channel. Let's follow her. Maybe she's going to this place we think a bunch of channelers might be.
Wait till she goes down a back alley
And
to
then
the
they,
sneaky
like,
clubhouse.
come up with a plan,
Yeah.
and they can be like, okay, we really need them to... Because the fact that they showed up with Anan in this way...
It makes it
really
worse.
didn't work
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
So,
It's not good.
no.
So let's keep going.
bad.
Then. Let's keep going because
Bad,
now they're
in fact.
now they're shielded.
Now
and
they're
now it gets
shielded.
good. Yeah.
And Nynaeve is absolutely furious about being shielded. And she's like, oh man, this chick holding my shield is so weak. I'm just going to bust it open.
That should work in
3
theory.
seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds, bust it open
Yeah.
shield. Nope.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't bust open at all.
And she's like getting
It's
like
silly
a
putties.
she's a vein on her forehead popping out.
Yeah.
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 So this is really cool talent.
Yeah, it is. Instead of the shield breaking, it stretches like silly putty. That's
Yeah.
what I keep thinking
There you
about.
go.
Because it's just like,
That works. It works.
what's that toy? The Mr. Stretch? What's it called?
Stretch Armstrong?
Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong.
That's the one.
There you
That's
go.
way better than Mr. Stretch.
Yeah.
I shouldn't name toys.
And Mrs. Stretch.
Yeah, although that's like Mrs. Incredible.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, she stretches.
Okay.
Elastigirl. Fuck, that's so much better.
This is why you're not in charge of naming superheroes. Cool. I like it.
Give me more than 2 seconds, and I can probably do it.
No, you only have to. That you don't have any more time. So this is Barrowen, and she's the one who has the something close to a talent, and it's really funny because she knows that Nynaeve is trying to bust out, and she's like, "Yeah,
She's
I
like,
got
haha.
this." She's not
I
even
could
breaking
even
a sweat.
hold a Forsaken.
But that's the funny thing is like we get that I could hold one of the Forsaken, knowing that Nynaeve beat like
Forsaken.
Mogedion. Yeah.
like strength-wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like shielded her.
Yeah, and we know that Elaine and Nynaeve captured a Forsaken because of Elaine's talent at creating Terangrial.
Yes. But I mean, this is crazy because we got to get Barrowen on our
We are
side
so-
to go hunt some Forsaken. If she can legitimately do this to Nynaeve.
I'm like worried that you just said that because that's never gonna happen. Like
Oh.
you would never just like spoil a plot thing.
Well, that's not
like out
necessarily
like that.
true.
Yes, it is.
I have said things that you don't even know that I've said.
I believe you.
But anyways, yeah. But
I
that's the
just
point.
like that would be cool.
We
but
need
never.
we need a
No, that's
team
not
up
happening.
and be like, hey, we got to go capture some Forsaken. That's the thing about the Wheel of Time. If everybody did what they should do, the series would be a lot
And Elaine
shorter.
comments again, we could have been drinking blueberry tea.
Right.
Uh-huh. And so now Rihanna, I think it's Rihanna.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Tells both of them to just like shut it, and then more stuff comes out about how Rihanna thinks that these women are just like dumb idiots who just need to shut up because
Yeah.
like you're here for our help.
Yes. Yeah. And you're not realized that.
And then
Whole lot of
Nynaeve
that.
tries to say again, we need your help. We desperately need to find a Terangrial.
She gets a little bit further than where she did previously.
But Rihanna cuts her right off and says, usually we know the girls who are brought to us beforehand, but we must make certain you are what you say.
Yeah.
And like they say they're Aes Sedai. So
Well, they're going with like we need your help because we ran away from the tower. Nynaeve kind of led and hinted that was the real story, that they were in the tower and they're like gone now, I guess, or got
Yeah.
kicked out because she swore that, hey, I'll say it anyway, that we were told to leave.
That's true. She does say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so then we get, like, the next, like, page and a half, basically, is this, like, questioning Nynaeve and Elaine about things from the tower.
Yeah.
That anybody who has never been to the tower wouldn't be able to answer.
Yeah.
Random questions that I'm sure actually probably, these questions specifically probably come up in some Wheel of Time trivia.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Because it's like, how many doors can the novices enter through to get to the library?
And like, when are you allowed to enter the Hall of the Tower? In what circumstances? And
things like that.
And
it's like random. So random.
Yeah.
And some of the answers Nynaeve doesn't know because she was never a novice.
Right.
And Nynaeve fills in some things that Elaine doesn't know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a cute little, like, give and take.
It's just a lot.
They definitely, this group of women believe that Nynaeve was in the tower and are still convinced that Nynaeve taught Elaine.
Like, maybe, if that might be a possibility.
It seems odd.
Yeah.
To me. That is like, why can't they just both have been?
It's odd. It's an odd situation altogether because they're claimed to be Aes Sedai and they have rings and all these different things.
Especially when
how did she
Elaine
get a
loses
ring?
it. And because she doesn't have it yet. Like, she still has it hidden away now.
Well, it's hidden away, but it's like possible that Mr. Sinan told her.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Okay, so now the questions finally stop, and Nynaeve tries again to ask for help, and it gets, she gets a bit further.
Yep. Gets the name,
She's like,
I guess.
Listen, we need to find a terangrial that the seafolk called the Bowl of the Winds. It's a big old bowl. It's in a dusty old storeroom somewhere in the Rahad, and I think your guild, your circle, whatever, might know where it is. And then she's like, listen, lady.
Yeah.
There's no guild here.
No guild, we're just a couple of friends hanging out.
Right.
That's it.
And it's a few friends who didn't find a place in the tower, and we have no storeroom of power objects. And I was like, oh, that's a very specific thing for you to say.
Well, Nynaeve just said, like, hey, it's in an old storeroom with a bunch of other stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did she say that? Okay. Because
like,
I thought it was funny because she was like, we don't have a storeroom.
Yeah.
What's a storeroom? Like, I just found it like...
I have a storeroom on 8th Street. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I know. And she said, we're not Aes Sedai.
Yes, and this is the part where we get like...
Seems a little salty.
Well, no. She says Aes Sedai with veneration, like, we're not gods.
Is that what that word means?
Veneration means, like, I'm saying it with so much praise.
I made up in my mind
emphasis,
what
like,
that meant.
Yeah, so veneration...
It meant like, we weren't allowed to be Aes Sedai, so we're not.
Opposite of that. It's like, we are not the glorious and mighty Aes Sedai of legend.
Oh.
Yeah, so they clearly have this, like, impression that Aes Sedai are...
Well, especially if all of these people have been to the tower as a novice, like, Aes Sedai are up here.
Yes. Yeah.
For the people that can't see me, I'm pointing 100%. High.
Yeah. Right. We are. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so now this is where that Rihanna, the one who's in charge here, launches into a speech about her plan for them.
Yeah, which is basically like, hey, we're going to make sure that no sisters are looking for you, and then we're going to get you the hell out of Abu Dar.
You're going to leave.
That's it. Yeah.
We're going to let you
there
go.
You go.
Yeah. And Elaine has finally had enough of all of this. She's like, done. I'm done. This is awful. I don't want to be shielded. I just want to leave. And she says, in her dramatic, queenly voice, with her great serpent ring put on her finger, she announces, I am Elaine Trakand, High Seat of House Trakand, and I'm the daughter heir of Andor, and I said I have the Green Aja, and I demand you release me immediately.
Yeah, because they're still shielded. And in her point of view, she's thinking they've already admitted that they don't have the storm of power objects, so why are we wasting more time? I'm done with this.
I'm doing
Let's go. I want to go home.
Because, like, what are you going to do? Just go undercover for 3 years?
Yeah. And here's the thing. Surprisingly, this does not work.
I'm so surprised.
Her plan doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that if this commanding tone came out of Nynaeve right now, it might have been bought a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because they were questioning whether or not Nynaeve had been to the tower.
Okay.
And they were waiting for this, like, eruption of, like, boom. And they can probably feel how strong these two are.
They can.
Right?
They can.
That's probably a thing. And so, now, if Nynaeve had been the one to be very commanding and demand this, and I'm Aes Sedai and whatever, then I think it might have gone over actually a little bit better.
Yeah, they went too meek, and now they can't.
And now Elaine doing the whole daughter heir shit. Like, they could give a shit about that. So.
Yeah, again, it's just like the whole I don't even know you. How you could say you're the high seat of literally anywhere, and I wouldn't know.
I know, and Nynaeve isn't giving up really. And
but she does. Nynaeve does say, "I'm the yellow. I'm of the yellow."
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, and they do talk about Egwene.
Not Aes Sedai.
No, they talk about Egwene. It's like, hey, this is how it happened.
Yeah,
but that's the issue. Is everything these women think about Aes Sedai is not Elaine and Nynaeve.
Not even a little bit. And she's like, we just need to find this freaking bowl.
Yeah,
it'll help us. Are you going to help us? And none of this works.
No, and that's when Rihanna's like, nope, I regret ever meeting you. I don't want to do this anymore either, so you can leave. And also, this is interesting because she straight up threatens them. Like, hardcore, by tomorrow sunrise, you're going to be gone. And if you're not, we're going to circulate your descriptions and make sure it reaches the sisters in the palace, one thing. But then also, we're going to make sure they know where you are.
Yeah, whatever.
But we're also going to tell the White Cloaks. Which is pretty crazy of a threat, because then she says you can either run away, you can surrender to the sisters, or you can die because the White Cloaks will kill you.
Right.
And she sounds legitimately serious that they would do that.
I know, but at the whole we're going to give your descriptions to the sisters, we'll make sure your sisters get descriptions. It's not like any of them are walking up to any Aes Sedai. And so that threat alone is almost detrimental to their cause, because these women are connected to the palace Aes Sedai.
Well, no, magazine note it, right? With the letters. There's
yes, the newspaper letters.
Newspaper letters, and there you go.
I know that. But if anything, if Nynaeve and Elaine really want to actually, take down and be like, give us what you have, what we think you have, then they're just going to go and be like, we are Aes Sedai, and here's, we thought maybe, you would help us because we don't look Aes Sedai, but you didn't, so now we're bringing in real Aes Sedai.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right, let's finish this chapter then.
Yeah, let's do it. So, basically, Elaine says, we're not going anywhere, but then they just get, herded down to the front door.
Yeah, because they're shielded. They can't do anything.
Can't do literally anything. I mean, they throw some punches, but then, they're
going to get wrapped up in air. There's tons of channelers here.
There's literally nothing they can do, and it's incredibly frustrating. So, Nynaeve tries one more time to plead with them for, helping to find this bowl, but they're not budging, and one of them is super, super annoyed.
Yeah, that's Garinya.
Okay, and she says, if I had my way, you'd be bundled off to the farm no matter what you say, a few months with Elise, and you'd stop being such an idiot.
Yeah, so it does sound like it's probably
hoeing
an
cabbages.
actual farm hoeing cabbages.
Yeah.
So.
And then Benowyn calls her out and
Barrowyn.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
The
calls her
shielder
out
lady.
and says, we don't hold anyone against our will here, so, shut it.
Yeah, and apologize.
And then that's, the more sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
More of that. Sorry.
So polite. And she does, and then they leave. They get shoved out the door.
Yeah. So, I mean, in all seriousness, they are lucky and fortunate that they are just kicked out onto the street and not, I don't know, smuggled out of the city, put on a wagon, shielded, and it's we're going to ship you off, miles from here.
Honestly.
That could have happened too.
My breath, it was oh my god, another freaking capture.
Yeah.
That, honestly, I thought Matt was going to have to save them from.
Oh man, that would have been so terrible for everybody.
Right?
Oh, that would have been the worst thing ever.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
Honestly, that's what I thought was happening.
If Matt ever
here.
has to save them again, it's just how is that going to go?
It's just the second that they apologize and then now.
No thanks.
No. But yeah, then it's just okay, leave now. And then it's just, that's it.
That's it. Gone.
Okay.
They have to leave. They have to leave by sunrise.
Well, we'll see.
Well, that's the threat.
No, they're not leaving.
Well, of course they're not going to leave.
Okay.
But that's the threat. And how do they change things so that they don't start circulating descriptions to White Cloaks and the sis? It's going to be weird. There's going to be repercussions.
I think honestly what they're going to have to do is go back with Aes Sedai.
We got to talk about that.
Are there any of the Aes Sedai here who they have a decent relationship with?
Elaine and Nynaeve don't have decent relationships with anybody.
Is there anyone
what are we talking about?
No, I know.
Marillilla or Adelius and Vandine or who are we looking for?
Tylan.
Tylan's the queen.
Who wrote the note that's we care about Nynaeve and Elaine?
Yeah.
They gotta stop being so...
doing what they're doing.
Doing dangerous things.
Like this. Okay, shoot. Okay,
we're gonna jump into the next chapter.
Yes.
But first we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
All right, so chapter 24, The Kin.
Yes.
And we get the chapter symbol, the Flame of Tarvalon.
Yeah, so we get an official name for this awesome organization.
Is that what this is?
Well, yeah.
I kind of missed it.
The Kin.
Okay.
We get introduced to them. We got introduced to their entire organization. We got so many hints about everything.
And that's the name of it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it. That's it.
Cool.
I don't know what else you want here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought maybe something else.
No, that's it.
But the Flame of Tarvalon, which doesn't have to do with the Aes Sedai, but Aes Sedai rejects.
It's good. Just as good.
Honestly, better.
Is it? Are they better?
Yep.
Or are they equally worse?
No, they're better because they didn't have to do the stupid oath rod garbage.
Okay. You know what? I get it.
And they can't use the title Aes Sedai to just, like, figure their way out in the world.
Sure. But, I mean, keep in mind, Egwene and the women think about this. Egwene has the plan of bringing people into the tower.
Yes, she does.
But also, Elaine's like, that's not our job right now. I don't want to do this. Like, I get that we're on her side, and that's a plan Egwene has.
Yeah.
But I don't want any part of that right now with these women. It's like, screw them.
Yeah. Well, they have a society. Like
they have a whole system.
And like, let's get into it because it's not just like new.
Nope.
And it's not just new in the last like 10 years.
Yep.
It is a society.
It's a thing that's been around.
It's a society.
Yeah.
To the point where they can just let 2 people go.
Yeah.
I bet, like, whatever, 50 years ago, they weren't just, like, letting people who come to them go.
I mean, but consider this. The White Tower has been around in the world for 3,000 years.
Well, let's talk about recent times.
But here's the thing.
Let's talk about, like, 300 years recent times.
But my point is, from the beginning of the White Tower, there's always going to be people who they didn't pick up, who they didn't recruit, who got kicked out of the tower.
No, I think that, like, more recently, within the last, like, 1,000 years, there's probably been, like, more stricter, like, guidelines and stuff happening in the tower for, like, who's accepted
okay, fair point.
to be an Aes Sedai and who's accepted even to, like, train to be an Aes Sedai. Like, they've become something different than they used to be.
So let's say, okay,
right?
even in the last 1,000 years, but that's a whole heck of a lot of women who either get kicked out, booted out, never go.
Well, that's
right?
the problem, right? That's why there's only, like, the amount of Aes Sedai there are now.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to flock somewhere,
dwindling.
right? They're going to flock somewhere. They're going to go back to their villages. They're going to become wisdoms like Nynaeve. They're going to become wise women. They're going to become healing women in Amadicia, like whatever it's going to be. So they're going to... Channelers are still out there. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, let's talk about this because we get the Rhianna Corley perspective, which is very cool.
Yes. All right, so Rhianna is watching as Nynaeve and Elaine head down the street, and she doesn't quite know what to make of this whole situation.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
And Barrowan whispers, they didn't perspire. Which is an interesting point, because we did get Nynaeve seeing all of these other women sweating profusely, because it's hot. It's hot.
It's really
here.
hot, and that's the Aes Sedai trick. So it's like, oh my goodness, how do they know how to not to sweat? Because that's an Aes Sedai thing.
And then Rhianna like feels this fear bubbling in her stomach, the same panic that had overtaken her after one passage through the Silver Arches when she went to test for being accepted.
Yeah.
So that's her story.
And that's the thing about the unreliable narrator from last chapter with Nynaeve, where she's like, oh, she must be a wilder, because the Aes Sedai would never let her go, but clearly that did happen. So,
well, that's why there's testing.
Yeah,
right?
and we get a little bit of insight into Rhianna too. So we've got the fear that sent her running away from like the accepted test. We've got her thinking precautions are going to have to be taken, safeguards carried out that haven't been used in years, and the Aes Sedai are as near omnipotent as made no difference. So she literally thinks that Aes Sedai are all omnipotent. Omnipotent means all powerful.
No, I got that. Yeah,
so,
I was just thinking. You saw my eyes. I was just thinking of the phrasing of that. But
yeah. So she's like, they're all powerful. They know about us, and we got to basically do whatever we got to do, the safeguards to protect our organization now. So, and I kind of equate the way they view Aes Sedai to the same way that the Aiel thought about Aes Sedai before they actually met them.
Yes. Okay, that's
it was
fair.
The reverence of like, oh my goodness, are you going to strike me down with your lightnings? Let's dance, right?
Yeah.
That, Urian and Varen way back when. Mm-hmm. So, but as soon as they meet them, they're like, oh, actually,
never
you
mind.
suck.
You actually kind of suck, and we don't like you at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now Barrowan starts up again, saying, eldest.
So that's Rhianna.
Is it possible the older one really is we channeled and ...
Yeah. So they have rules. Don't channel in front of Aes Sedai.
Yes. And then Rihanna goes on saying there's no way that they're Aes Sedai. Like, they would never have taken that so submissively.
Yeah.
But if they were shielded, like, what else could they have possibly done?
Yeah.
Like, would they have come in... Do they think that Aes Sedai could, like, walk in, shield all of them, and, like, blow up the place?
Yep, probably. They think about Aes Sedai the same way the Aiel did. It's like they don't even know how powerful. Like they just have this. It's a big mythical.
Which is
thing.
Like I would see that maybe if they were like Wilders and only heard stories, but all of these women have been to the tower and seen Aes Sedai, who aren't even as powerful as they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To think like how else? Like what else were they supposed to do in this situation? They literally came to you for help for something.
Here's the thing: Aes Sedai would never go to anybody for help.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's also not a thing that happens.
Not
that's
an Aes Sedai trait.
That's an Elaine and Nynaeve thing. That's how they make friends with people.
No, we've been talking about that over and over.
Like the Sea Folk and Thailand, like
and even asking Matt for help. Yeah, no, I said I would never ask for help.
It wouldn't happen.
But in this particular instance, if this group wants to believe, in anything, it's like, oh, we come in like some kind of peace. But I just think that they're like, we would never be able to just like shield Aes Sedai and them just stand there.
Yeah.
But it's like, hell yeah,
that's how it happens.
You literally, that's like, what else could they do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's where they're missing here.
100%. Yeah. No, they're operating on like bad.
And she's like, don't worry, we didn't channel in front of Aes Sedai. We broke no rule.
Yeah. It's a good rule to have. Don't channel in front of Aes Sedai if you never want to get caught.
Yes.
It's a good rule.
Yeah. But, whatever. So then the fact... Is it that when they leave the tower, they're just not allowed to channel anymore?
No. So Aes Sedai, if they do boot someone to the tower, it's like, we're not... Like, technically, you can channel, but you better not cause any trouble.
Yeah.
You better not channel too much and make yourself known. And you better not, like, put any bad... what's the word? Don't make us look bad. Don't make channelers look bad. If you do bad things with your power, we're going to come hunt you down.
Got it.
And then you're going to hoe cabbages forever.
Right. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Or probably worse.
Or maybe worse.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
Okay.
I can't kill you, but my warrior can. So.
That's true. But then the fact that there have been rumors about the quote girl Amyrlin popping up.
Yeah.
And then she's like, that's what they said. They said those rumors. I said that's what happened. And then Rihanna's like, oh, gross. Rebels?
Yeah.
Who would dare go against the tower?
Because again, mythical Aes Sedai, all powerful, who could rebel?
Right. And then also the Loghain stuff.
Yeah, which also like can't believe it. Terrible.
Yeah. Now, Rihanna thinks about how she had given up her dreams of becoming a Green Aja a long, long time ago. But there have been some women like Barrowyn.
Yeah, the one who shielded Nynaeve.
Okay.
Super talent one.
Who secretly hope that one day they might return to the tower. Or get to return to the tower.
Yep.
Plus, there are some women who are even worse, who would actually accept Wilders.
Yeah, they have like that preconceived, like just gross Wilders. That comes from
racism.
A lot of Aes Sedai.
They're racist against Wilders.
100%, absolutely. Yeah. That's what it is. So
well, and let's tell them about how Nynaeve is a Wilder.
Oh man, my God. Terrible. Oh no.
Disgusting.
Yes. And there's some people who think that they should go out and find girls who can be taught to channel.
Ridiculous.
Terrible.
What are we, Shanshan?
So this So here's the thing. Rihanna as
that's a good joke.
Yeah. Rihanna no, that's good. Rihanna as the what is she, the eldest? I can't remember too.
Yeah.
We really need to have dinner before we do these things.
I know.
Yeah, she's the eldest. Mm-hmm. So she's the one who's like clearly in charge, I guess, here. And she's the one who like hates Wilders. No, we're not going to recruit. Like it's just it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bad stuff.
No, I know.
And she's given up on her dreams of becoming Aes Sedai ever, some people might want to.
Which is, like, cool.
It's nice.
It's cool that they still think that, because I think that Elaine... Nope, Egwene.
Yeah, Egwene.
Egwene is the Amyrlin seat who has that vision. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I want for Egwene. That's what I want her legacy to be.
But that's the thing. Egwene's thought process isn't necessarily like everyone should be Aes Sedai. It's more like I want to attach the White Tower to everybody who can channel. Which, again, is not a terrible idea.
Why are we sending them all away always?
To never talk to them again.
Yeah.
It's like, why not have these like little pockets of like wise women who can heal and make a good name for the White Tower?
Perfect.
Like, there's so many. There's
great.
so much good stuff we could do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Shoot.
yeah, I thought that maybe some of these women would be very like upset.
Yeah.
And still be like holding grudges.
And
right?
probably some
They'd
do.
be like a bitter jury and Big Brother.
That's fair. And probably some are that way.
Yeah.
Right? So, and here's the more weird stuff about Satalanan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Garinya, she's like, hey, about Satalanan, she clearly has been told way too much information. And then Rihanna says, remember who she is. If she'd betrayed us, we'd be crawling to Tar Valon because, like, she clearly hasn't told Aes Sedai about our existence.
Do you think... Okay, now I'm having a new thing. And it's not do you think, do I think, really, is what I'm saying. Or
fair.
the people listening.
Sure.
Is Satalanan maybe, like, an eyes and ears? Does she have, like, a connection to the White Tower or Aes Sedai in some way?
That would make sense.
But
that
the 70 years thing is throwing me right off.
Fair.
But, like, maybe if there's some connection.
Yep.
Like, if she betrays us to the White Tower because she's connected to the White Tower.
And that's how she could know a lot of stuff if she was.
She would know a lot, like, potentially.
And that would give... that I can totally see someone being eyes and ears, having, like, a chip on their shoulder, being like, I'm so high and mighty.
Yes.
Because it's like...
The Aes Sedai trust me with my information.
Right? Exactly. Yes. I'm a spy I'm just thinking of...
Spy master.
Spy masters.
Yes.
You know, so I'm the spy master for the Aes Sedai. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so she says, hey, she's kept a few secrets she knows from gratitude, so she clearly knows some stuff. She would have died in her first childbirth if the kin hadn't helped her.
Right.
So clearly there's like a little bit of give and take there. So Satalanan, they know her, they know of her. She knows stuff she's not supposed to.
Yeah.
But maybe she's talking a little bit too much.
Well, and they got that she overheard a bunch of the women talking.
Yes.
When they thought she wasn't listening or something.
20 years ago, a bunch of women spilled some secrets when they thought no one was listening, but clearly Satalanan picked up on some stuff. Yeah. So.
Okay.
But again, that's 20 years ago, and that's a pretty long time ago, too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it
Something
is.
to think about.
All right, now, in case you were thinking, oh, good, I've sort of understood who's here and who's talking and what's going on.
Sure.
Some more people are going to enter.
So Daenerys, which is the one who wants to marry.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Sure. Okay. And then Serenia.
Yes.
They're here to report that Callie is dead.
Oh, yes.
Eldest sister. Her throat was cut and she was robbed, but Sumeko says that it was the one power that killed her. So here's the thing. We know Callie. We saw her.
We saw her die.
Black and we saw the
Valiant, right?
Yeah.
Valiant and no name who I can't remember.
I can't remember either right now, but that's not important. The important part is she got wheelbarrowed out of there by those two big guys.
Yes, she did.
To spill the body, and Valiant was like, hey, make it look like she was robbed.
And they're like, no one's going to
believe it. And that's the big thing.
And they said, doesn't matter, do it anyway.
Yeah, so we've got Sumeko, who would have been yellow, so she's really good with the healing stuff, and she knows.
Been secretly learning.
Yeah, and
even though she's not supposed to.
She knows that it was the one power that killed her,
yes.
And we know that that's true.
Yes.
So that's when Barrow and Grenya, the ones who are already here, they're like, that can't happen. How? Like the 3 O's. And it wouldn't have been a wise woman who did that because we're all part of the same club.
So like,
we're not going to murder each other.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rihanna kind of puts her foot down and she says, okay, this is what we got to do. Probably enacting some of those protocols that have to be put in place.
We have a plan and there are things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And then this is where her perspective ends.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so getting into Nynaeve's perspective. So they've just left the house and Nynaeve is absolutely outraged. She's so angry. She was right about this whole thing and she didn't get the help that she wanted and demanded.
Yep.
They did not give her the respect she deserves.
Yeah.
Got no respect.
No respect. Can't get no respect.
Seriously.
Yeah.
She doesn't care what these women said. She knows they know something about the bull, which I actually agree with.
Okay.
Completely. I completely agree.
And that was my point. It's like, what's going to happen? Because she's not going to drop this. But.
Probably not. No. Yeah. But that's why they need Matt. And I know that Nynaeve really doesn't want that, but they need Matt.
Yeah.
They need Matt.
Let's go spy. Let's go start spying
Or like Tom and
specific...
Julian can like sneaky sneak, and they also have like illusion stuff. So like
we've got tons of resources. Like we have lots of stuff we can do. I
wonder if they could illusion themselves into an Aes Sedai with an ageless face.
Probably.
Like
Why
they
not?
should probably just fucking do that and storm in and be like, "You treated my Aes Sedai friends badly." Maybe they should do that.
Oh, there we go.
That would be crazy. I would love to see that. Crazy. Yeah.
I love
crazy.
it.
That's what I
why
want to
couldn't
see.
you do that, right?
That's what I want to see next.
Okay.
But anyway, now they're walking away and Elaine is not saying anything. She's lost in thought, and Nynaeve thinks to herself she knows exactly what Elaine's thinking.
And she doesn't.
She does not. She
no
doesn't.
idea.
She thinks that Elaine is like berating her, mocking her. Nynaeve is just this person. Like, when we start peeling back the onion layers...
She's very insecure.
So insecure.
You know, and I very much feel for that.
She puts up this crazy hard shell because she just knows in her heart that Elaine is just gloating at the fact that, like, this didn't work. And it's like, no, if Elaine's your friend...
Yeah. No. Like, but I get it, because, like, everyone's been there, where it's like your friend doesn't message you or something for a while, and you're like, oh, they must hate me now.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I guess we're not friends.
The only reasonable explanation is that they now hate me, and I've been excluded from the group.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can come up with.
Right.
So.
No, I know. But anyway, so she thinks she knows what Elaine's thinking. She doesn't know. They head down through the streets, and they're not talking to each other. And when they reach where they're, like, kind of almost back to where they know, because they had to for directions and
stuff. They had to go so far.
Yeah. Elaine suddenly says... How old did that Rihanna chick look to you?
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he's like, I don't know, 50 or 60? Why does that matter? Mm-hmm. 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 And then Nynaeve just like goes on. I know they're a guild. I know they're a society. I know they know where the bowl is, because she's convinced that Elaine...
Yeah, they're having two separate conversations here.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine's talking about the age.
But Elaine doesn't care about that. She's like, how old... could she be to have aged that way?
Yes. Yeah.
And then Nynaeve's like, what do you mean? Probably the same way the rest of us do. And Elaine's like, no. Here's the thing. I said I live way longer than they should. Yeah. And it must be because we have a Nan saying that there's a slowing. Yeah. Right? And so even if we don't get an ageless face, which happens when you become an Aes Sedai. Yeah. Because we don't get the ageless face on the wise women. Yep. Right? Or the wise ones.
Wise ones. We don't get ageless faces on sea folk. We don't get them on Shanshan channelers.
Only that's specific to Aes Sedai when you become an Aes Sedai. Yeah. Right? So, but the prolonged life when you channel the one power happens for everybody.
Yes, and the slowing happens for everyone too.
Very interesting. This is all very interesting information that's coming out here in book 7.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yes, and so...
Let's piece it together.
These are the puzzle pieces we found under the couch.
Yes.
That are like, we're like, oh...
Yeah, so Elaine, we get this little story about the oldest accepted that was in the tower that she remembers. So Elaine asks her, hey, because you didn't pay attention to class. So it's really just for us, the reader. But anyways, so Ellen Worrell is the one... And Nynaeve thinks that she was about Nynaeve's age. And we know that Nynaeve is like mid-20s, right? We know that. Yeah. And Elaine's like, no, because Ellen's younger sister had visited at some point, and her younger sister had gray hair, more gray hair. So Ellen Worrell must be past 40. Yeah. So it's just like, it's a weird age thing.
It is and this whole time, Nynaeve isn't really listening to Elaine, and then, like, notes the seamstress, like, looking at them and smiling, which is just, like, a side note for us for later. Uh-huh. And Elaine is just, like, going on and on and on about we slow somewhere between 20 and 25, and we begin aging more and more slowly.
Yeah, and that's constant.
Yeah, and how much must depend on how strong we are, but when... doesn't depend on that. We always start at this time.
Makes sense for Morgaze, right?
Yeah, and I bet this is something that when you become an Aes Sedai, you probably learn this stuff. But because they didn't become an Aes Sedai like the regular, or maybe even in more accepted class, like, you know, because as you become an accepted, you, or both, like, okay, number one, Nynaeve was never a novice, and Elaine was a novice for a very short time.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe there's more lessons and more stuff to be learned about being an Aes Sedai and about how using the power affects you and your body and whatever.
Well, we get
that they just, like, didn't get.
We get some philosophy. So Elaine talks about Takema, who's an Aes Sedai.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And she says that, hey, Takema thinks that it's the beginning, like, the slowing is the beginning of the ageless look.
Yeah.
But Elaine thinks about how nobody gets the ageless face until they've had the shawl for at least a year or two, sometimes 5 or more, but not until after. So if we have this accepted and we have these different cultures and all these different people who don't get like the mythical ageless face of
quote,
the Aes Sedai,
face, yeah.
you have to separate like what's the only difference between Aes Sedai and the rest of them.
Yeah.
What's the only thing that happens? So there's only a handful of things.
Yeah.
It's not that secret.
No, it's not.
So what do you think? Talk about it.
Well, it's the Oath Rod.
The Oath Rod.
Yeah.
Right? The only other thing that it could be would be like the testing Terangreal for like becoming an Aes Sedai.
It's something to do with being an Aes Sedai, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that's the question. So any sister who is like slowed and has gray hair has to be really friggin' old. So how old is Rihanna?
Exactly.
Now here's the thing. Nynaeve doesn't care about any of this.
Yes, she does. No.
Nynaeve doesn't?
You think she doesn't.
Okay.
But I promise you.
I want you to convince me. Okay.
Cries about this specific thing because I mentioned it at the beginning. She can't wait for her gray hair. She can't wait to be taken seriously because she looks so young.
Nice. Yeah.
And so she is like, holy shit, this is why there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I look so young. And I hate this. There's a reason I've been treated like a little girl who knows nothing. And then she thinks again,
Love it, yes.
When will I get my gray hair?
Yeah. Never.
Which is like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because this is like all that matters to her. This is her greatest insecurity, and there's a reason for it, and there's nothing she can do about it.
Well, I love the fact that you talk about that because right from book 1 with Nynaeve being everyone thinks she looks so young. She looks so young, but we know now it's because she's slowed already.
Yes.
So even though she's like mid-20s, she looked like 20.
Even
and she's
less,
always, So, but anyways, the important part about Rihanna's age.
And you know what? No. Sorry for interrupting.
That's okay.
The whole thing about Nynaeve looking so young, Elaine alluded to a couple paragraphs ago that it has to do with how strong you are.
That's true,
and
too.
And we know that Nynaeve, even though she has a block,
she's the strongest.
Wildly strong.
She's so far above everybody else.
She's so freaking strong. So, like, I wonder if that impacts, like, maybe she actually looks like 16, you know?
She looks super young.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I need a guess from you because the amount of times we've got this question, how old is Rihanna? Mm-hmm. Elaine is hyper-focused on it.
Yes, she is.
I need an estimate from you.
Don't know.
How old is Rihanna?
I don't know. I have no idea. How would I know that?
I want you to make a guess.
175.
Okay, well, it's just because
I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say?
We have talked so much about age of like
I know.
Cadsuane and Grendel.
Okay, fine.
And hundreds of years and all these different things.
You want her to be older than Cadsuane?
That's what I want to know.
That's what you want. That's what you want me to say.
10,000 years old.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, she was there 3,000 years
Jesus
ago.
Christ. Why would you do that?
I couldn't even help that. I couldn't help that. I couldn't. We don't even have anything here. I couldn't help myself.
I'm gonna take shots of Prosecco. I have that bottle open. Get the shot glasses.
Oh my god, yeah, we have to do a
Prosecco shot.
That's so funny. I'm so sorry.
You know what? Are you proud of me that I knew immediately that was a Lord of the Rings reference?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What's the context though?
Age? Oops.
Oh my goodness. This is okay.
Oops.
Oh, the
both times because it bubbles over and shot glasses
That's
are
okay.
tiny.
That's okay. That works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Elrond.
I don't even know. Whatever.
Elrond was there 3,000 years ago.
And we were there 3 years ago.
Right?
When we started this podcast.
Whoa.
Full circle.
Which, the prologue of The Eye of the World was 3,000 years ago. Holy moly.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't do that. Cheers better.
There you go.
That was bad too.
Well, hey, I don't know what you want here. There you go.
That's the best shot we've ever had.
Yeah, Prosecco. Why not?
It's delicious.
Okay, let's finish this.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't need to pour it into shot glasses.
No, that was super unnecessary, but that's okay. It was fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay, where are we? Oh, Elaine and Nynaeve are about to be freaking attacked?
Yes.
Right. Oh, right.
Okay. Yes. They're annoyed. it's happening. Let's get to the attack. Let's do this.
So, now Nynaeve turns away from Elaine because she's starting to cry because everything in her whole freaking life is making sense all of a sudden.
Yep.
She's having this whole, like,
She's having a meltdown.
revelation.
Yep.
And then, you know, something sort of hits the back of her head and she thinks it's Elaine hitting her. Except when she turns around, Elaine is, like, knocked out on the ground.
Yeah.
She's got a big old lump coming off of the side of her head. And Nynaeve is having trouble focusing. And some long-nosed woman is all of a sudden kneeling beside them.
Here's the thing. In this perspective, it's not written like Nynaeve is having trouble focusing on things. It's not. Because she looks down, she's like, oh, weird, Elaine's on the ground and the lump's coming out of her
read
head.
that as she's having trouble focusing on things.
But it's like from her, like she totally has like a concussion or something.
Something's gone on.
It's like she also got smoked in the head.
Yeah.
And like, it's lucky that she's conscious right now.
Yes.
And that she can actually embrace Saidar soon. It's, oh man.
No, that's true. So we got a bit of luck on our side.
Yes.
But now this woman's here and she's like, oh, your friend's sick. Let me help. And then some guy's there who's like, I have a carriage. We'll take you somewhere.
It's like a kidnapping in the process. It's so.
And I bet they like wish Nynaeve had gone down too, but now they're like kind of making it up as they go along, it seems.
And it's in the middle of the street and there's people around, so they're trying to be like, oh, let me help you to the hospital.
Right.
While I kidnap you.
Right.
It's super creepy. Like
the hospital. They have a hospital at Ebudar.
You know what I mean, though?
It would be full of stab victims. That's what the hospital would be.
It would be.
There would be one unit, and it would be the stabbing unit. Yeah. That's what the hospital would be in Ebudar. I can't believe you just said the hospital in Ebudar.
Yeah,
That's
but
so
it's
funny.
like a weird, creepy kidnapping situation.
It's so weird. And Nynaeve's like, I don't need your help. Go away.
Yeah.
And she's having a hard time figuring out what's happening. And then finally she's able to grab a hold of Saidar because she's like angry at what's happening here. And then she like shoots out flows of whatever to
start smacking people,
scare these people off basically, and everyone like leaves because they know what's happening. So the street clears out when it's obvious the power is being used, and these like would-be kidnappers also scamper off.
It's a weird attempt too, because it wasn't very good. Like, it wasn't a very organized kidnapping attempt.
No, but we know that your typical dark friend is just kind of an average person and not really like an evil genius of planning and kidnapping people.
Yeah, and like overly brave or overly skilled.
That's kind of what I think is happening here, because the last time we heard about Jacob Carradine and Milli Vanilli, they were in the process of talking about how they needed to get Nynaeve and Elaine, but then also we were talking about Fallion and her sidekick. They were like, Moghedien would be happy if we had Nynaeve and Elaine. So like it could be whoever it is, it's dark friends. And so like no matter where they're being taken to, bad news bears.
It's bad. So for the record too, Elaine just got herself like knocked out real hard. And
she didn't have her skull broken.
Which is good, because we've seen Elaine with a broken skull before. That was like in the original kidnapping of the girls. Her skull was broken, and she was going to die.
Shoot, I forgot that happened. That was just like with like a rock or something.
Yeah, it's like a sling or something. Yeah. So anyways, the important part, she got knocked out, and we know that she's got a warder who can sense how she's doing. So Brigitte for sure just got like an alert, a notification.
Alert, if you watch The Circle.
Like our alarm say go like your Aes Sedai just got conked in the head so freaking hard.
Where the hell is she? What's she doing? I bet number one, Brigitte
they're spying on Jacob Carradine.
I know, but I bet already she was curious and wondering about what Elaine was doing and where she was up to, going so far away from her.
Right. Well,
because she should have been gone back to the palace, and she's like out wandering around now. I bet Brigitte was already on alert.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
And like this just probably solidified.
Like, red alert, let's go save Elaine and Nynaeve.
Honestly, yeah. So Nynaeve is able to heal Elaine to the point where she fixes the bruise and wakes her up.
Interestingly, though, she only does the simple version of healing with the water air spirit.
Well, because she's also concussed herself.
Oh, yeah. No, Nynaeve definitely needs like...
also some help.
A cool cloth on her eyes.
Honestly, yeah.
So, and then spooky woman comes out with a spooky cup of water.
Well, this is the seamstress. From before.
That's the thing, is like, are we trusting of this?
No.
We're not trusting.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We're not trusting any.
So we shouldn't take...
This is like the backup plan. And Nynaeve the whole time is like, wow, she's a really good seamstress. I'd like to employ her and have her make our dresses.
Yeah.
Like, no.
And Elaine says, yes, give me the cup of spooky
thirsty
water.
and hungry. Why didn't you let me drink that?
Yeah, and then he's like, look around. Look at the arrow that we just got hit with in the head.
Right.
With like the blunt tip. So
yeah, and then... And Elaine is a bit confused on what happened here, and that's when Nynaeve picks up the stone-tipped arrow.
Yeah.
Which is just to conk people out, right? Not to, like, actually, like...
I mean, you can do some serious head damage, and we've seen that happen before, but...
Right, but it wasn't like... If they wanted them dead, it would just be an arrow.
For sure.
Right? Like, the stone tip
this was
on
a
it
kidnapping
is
attempt.
like a conking on the head type of thing.
Absolutely.
And Elaine registers what's happening, and she asks, Teslin and Jolene... No. But I bet that's what they were thinking about because of the weird message from Matt and like different like things.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh no, that's not true. I'm thinking of Matt's message where he thought Teslin and Jolene.
Yeah.
That's different. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind what I just said.
Okay.
Because their message from Matt was Jacob Carradin's a dark friend and we should leave. Or hosting dark friends.
Yeah.
But Matt's message, he thinks is probably not from, I don't know.
Matt doesn't know. Matt has no idea.
But that's what we were thinking, is like maybe, but then not.
Okay.
Okay, that's confusing.
Okay.
Never mind. Forget everything I just said.
Sure, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Now, Nynaeve does not think these two would do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I guess fair.
I agree. I think this is the Dark Friend stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if this is like Teslin and Jolene, like...
hiring someone to hit them with an arrow and then...
Because they did mention,
them.
when the two of them were sitting and talking, they mentioned about how maybe they should get
But
Elaine
remember,
and Nynaeve and bring them to
the ultimate
Elida.
plan. The ultimate plan is sit and do literally nothing.
Ultimately,
That's the plan.
But it could have changed since then.
That's fair. That's fair.
Could have changed since then. We know that Elida wants Elaine and Nynaeve.
But are you leaning towards just this is Dark Friend stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards, yeah.
With the long nose, right? You know, it's evil people,
ugly
probably.
people, yeah.
You know?
Ugly people are typically evil.
Yeah, with long noses.
Except for Lanfear, who's literally the most beautiful.
That could totally be like some channeling stuff going on, so I don't really buy it.
The whole ugly people being bad is, I think, overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can have some beautiful bad people too.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
All right, now let's end this.
Okay.
Let's end this already.
Yes. They're like, we gotta go.
Yeah, honestly, that's what happens here.
Yeah.
And Elaine is like, we're just gonna have to get Matt's help. And Nynaeve starts crying.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, pretty dramatic. It is. Yeah, you should get Matt to help you guys.
Yes.
You've been here for way too long.
Way too long. Matt's gonna help. I really do think so. And then finally, we can stop talking about this dumb, stupid club bowl and move on with our lives.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
But now we have this fun new society.
Yeah.
To be concerned about.
Absolutely.
And to maybe bring down.
Bring down? You're on?
Yeah, we're bringing them down. They treated Nynaeve poorly. Nynaeve doesn't like that. She's gonna bring them down.
Get their help. Get Barrowin, who can shield the Forsaken. Let's team up.
That would be cool.
Let's have an ultimate.
That would be cool. Probably not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Okay.
No, everyone is always at odds.
Fair.
Always.
Okay, I get it.
Always. There's always
I get it.
This duality of stuff going on.
It's cool. It's cool.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
It's fine.
No, it's not. All right. I'm eager to read on.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And I'm really happy to have spent this 3-year anniversary episode on video.
Yeah, this was good. This was a fun episode.
This was fun, and it'll be released unedited on YouTube for our patrons.
Awesome.
And, surprise news, it's actually going to go to every single one of our patrons, regardless of tier.
Very cool.
Isn't that fun?
Cool. Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Yay.
Yay.
We made it, sort of.
Sort of.
Sort of. We made it so far.
We've made it.
We did.
Here we go.
Yep.
So, now, before you go and just try to get help from people without a real plan at all, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yep, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Vince Lewick, and Margaret, with music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.